So the detective is already dead had an immense amount of potential. If you guys have been following what I've been kind of reviewing and my thoughts and my opinions and my criticisms each and every single week since the anime has started on week number one thing that you might have known is like this anime has done a lot of like peaks and valleys. Like I feel like this anime had one of the best opening episodes in a really long time. And I feel like the episode 2 was one of the worst episode 2s in gosh, forever. And the reason being is I felt like it set us up for this really awesome mystery action thriller anime for us to spend time with these two characters to get to a point kind of towards the tail end of the anime for a character to die and the side character to take over and really solve that case and solve that mystery. Now, in a sense, you might be like, hey, yo, but Dom, like that's kind of like what happened, but it really isn't, because some of the twists and turns it took were like it just went down this like predictable tropey hole that most anime ends up falling into. Most honestly, and I don't care if what anybody says, and I'm sorry if it hurts anybody's feelings, like it takes this mid-tier anime vibe. Like it starts off with excellent writing and it starts off really good, and then it just takes this like shit anime approach and like immediately went from like, yo, this anime is gonna be like it has a limited potential, it's gonna be like a 9, and it ends up being like, I don't know, like a 6.5. Like it honestly ends up being like an anime that like once this concludes, I'm never gonna watch it again. Like even if this, like a lot of anime that typically what happens for me, like with like especially with like Funimation, is typically they're pretty good about getting a dub out probably about 3 months after the anime finishes. This one, there's two things. A, I don't even think we might even get a dub for it. But B, if we do, like I don't have like a real desire to go and rewatch it, because for the most part, this anime has made me angry at some points just watch it, just because I'm like, yo, they didn't need to do this. They didn't need to shoehorn these certain things in. Well, where I'm getting at is last week's episode, you know, kind of, or not even last week's episode, but really one of the things that I have said since the moment that we found out of how Siesta died, which I think was like maybe episode 8, maybe episode 9. I want to say maybe episode 9, that we found out how Siesta died, which was Hell reaching into her body, yanking out her heart. The moment that happened, I was like, oh, great. Nagisa is Hell. Hell is Nagisa. Nagisa is Hell. Hell is Alice or Alicia. You know what I mean? They're all one. And Siesta is somewhere in the mix in there, because for somehow her heart's so special that her consciousness is in her heart. What effing ever, right? Like, that whole plot, like, they could have done better. Like, I don't know if you guys agree with me or if you guys think that I'm way off base about it, but, like, it could have been better. They could have done better, and they just didn't. They just went like, oh, we got to get this out. You know, this is what people want. And it just simply wasn't. Or it isn't for me. So in this episode, we take a few different spots, and we kind of go through, you know, we go through the motions of Kimi facing Chameleon. And as Kimi's facing Chameleon, you know, obviously he faces him with a little pew pew gun. He faces him with his fist. He doesn't do great. Ultimately, Char ends up coming in and saving his biscuit. You know, Char ends up coming in and saving him. And when Char comes in and saves him, he ends up, you know, kind of lighting the ship on fire. He takes that one-on-one with Chameleon. He's finally able to remember the conversation that puts it all together that he had with Siesta on her telling him that her heart's special, and this was kind of her plan all along. Was the only way that she could save Alicia, her client, was to take this path, was to be self-sacrificing, was to allow Hell to take her heart. That way she could take over Hell, you know, kind of somehow, you know, do some kind of like, you know, inception in her mind and hold back her consciousness and kind of give him the mission that once Alicia comes to play, even though she might not have memories, then he needs to kind of support her and support that body. And that's his final mission, you know, which he forgot conveniently because of the pollen that was spread by the monsters, which ties all the way back to the OG episode when they solved the drug case of, being like having like severe memory loss and stuff. And because of all of this tying together, he lost his memory and he just got it back right now because he just yeeted himself and hit the deck with fighting Chameleon. And ultimately, he's about to go fist versus fist against Chameleon, which makes absolutely no sense. Like, this dude, like, what do you think? All he does is yell and monologue. And at that point, Siesta comes in Nagisa's body and saves him. And, he finally is able to have that moment with her. Now, what I will say is there was some genuine, like, moments. There's some genuine, like, oh my gosh, like, that's heartfelt moments. But it's sprinkled over with, like, I don't know. It just wasn't it's just not satisfying to me at all. Like, I feel the love that he has for Siesta, but ultimately, like, it's just not there. It just didn't do it for me. Like, I don't know if I'm alone on this, guys. Like, if you guys have been here for 11 weeks watching this as well, let me know what you guys think. Like, but this is just kind of my take on it. Is like, I'm watching it to watch it, but like, as things happen, I'm just like, yeah. That's what I thought. That's what I thought was gonna happen, and it's just not. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying I would have stopped watching it. I would still continue to watch it, but it wouldn't be like, oh my god, I can't wait to watch it. It's more like, oh, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna finish this because I started it, kind of thing. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below, guys. I know I kind of shitted on it a little bit. That's not really the intent. Like, there's still some enjoyability to have here. I still think Siesta is the best thing about this anime. I do like Yui as well, but I definitely think Siesta is the best part of this anime. And I feel like the best part of the anime is the thing that they kind of like. They effed with it too much. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, guys. If you guys missed our reaction, check out the video right here. It's going to come up right now. That's our full reaction. And we'll see you guys next week for episode number 12 as we begin to near the end of Detective is Already Dead. Peace out, friends.